no shirt and all this charcoal on my face. It's just a bit of a procedure that I'm doing for my skincare. Anyways, and it's a nice warm day, so I don't want to be indoors like with stuff on. But regardless, if you guys can pardon that and bear the video, I'm here to talk about obviously more than just our physical body. And this is a very, very important one. This is a massive foundation for magic, for life, for so many things. And let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what religion, what you believe in, what you don't believe in, because at the end of the day, legally, you can only believe in something you do not know. If you believe in something and you know in something, then you cannot believe in it or know in it. You either know in it or you believe in it, because you cannot believe something and then know it at the same time. I might say, I believe in Jesus. Oh yeah, I believe Jesus. But do you know Jesus? You see, that spiritual Christian will be like, yes, I know Jesus. And if someone asks you how you know something, what are they going to tell you? Oh, it's through the five senses. You know, I can see it. No, maybe I can hear it. I can, you know, or I can smell it. I can touch it, or I can smell it, and so on and so forth. That's how you know something. You confirm it. Okay, you confirm it. But when you believe in something, you have not confirmed it to thyself. So a lot of people say they believe in something, wherein actually they know something, but it's a fact. You cannot believe something and know that same thing at the same time. But anyways, that is the main thing that I want to bring about, is that no matter what religion or race or gender or sexuality or whatever, you have more than just a physical body. Now, I know a lot of people come from a religious background or some form of a background where looking at things like this and even these signs, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me stop it right there, buddy. No. Let me stop you right there, okay? Because no matter what religion, like I said, you come from, you have more than just a physical body. You can all discuss and dispute about where you're going to go to heaven, how many whatever you get in heaven, or what heaven is like, or bardo, you know, or what hell is like, or what, or the entry and the entry requirements for each. But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what religion you live in, you're all gonna die and you're all gonna go through the same stages and end up in the next place. Okay, that's that next place, right? We call it that next place. We don't call it heaven or hell. We call it that next place. If you want to believe whatever you want to believe in, it's fine, and you can be divided among your religions. But the truth is that you have more than just a physical body, ladies and gentlemen. So where do we start? We start with the basics, okay? Now, you guys might have seen this sign over here, the pentagram, and this is the pentacle that you guys definitely might have seen on the floor with some salt, and then they put the circle around it, lock it, do their ritual in there, and then take it all out. But nevertheless, this is the Star of the East. This is the star, the infamous Star of the East, okay? And this right here, this one here, the pentagram, is a sign that protects, is a sign that puts bad energy, pushes bad energy far away from you, okay? That's what this sign does. Don't take heed to the people that want to use this sign upside down or whatever it is that they want to do with these two up and their whole like satanic stuff. Let the Satanists be the Satanists, let the Muslims be the Muslims, let the Christians be the Christians, let the Jews be the Jews, let everyone be everyone. But for you, if you're watching this, you can learn from all of them. It's called Omonism. It's called the truth in every religion, okay? It's Omonism. And where does Omonism come from? Syncretism, which is that every religion and every theology comes from one philosophy and one base, one foundation. And this comes from that same one philosophy and one foundation that you can prove for yourself. Nothing of what I say, believe in it. No, don't believe in it. Go prove it for yourself. I'm just a messenger, right? I'm just a little bit of a Mercury. I'm just a messenger. So, okay, this, like I said, is a purifying sign. It's a sign that expels bad energies and especially bad spirits. Okay, people used to use this a lot on their front door, and you actually still can. If you use this on your front door, you'll definitely notice like a lot of things are not the same about your house after that. You feel a lot more lighter in your house, feel a lot more comfortable in your house, feel like there's a lot more air in your house. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that expels bad things from coming in. So we're going to start over here with Earth. This is the physical body, right? And we're here talking about the elements. So when I say Earth, I mean soil, okay? I mean actual soil, dirt, where we put a seed in and all of a sudden something comes out that we're able to eat, that has all the minerals we need. Wow, that's it. There's my food source. We put something in earth, chop it down, all of a sudden I've got furniture, I've got a wall, I've got, you know, this is what the earth element is about, right? Literally earthy things. And obviously the earthy colors like my wall and whatnot. And then we have water, which is also a negative sign. It says not negative, actually. It says negative in the scientific sense, in the modern scientific sense of positive and negative in electricity and magnetism, pardon me. So these two here are the feminine ones, okay? So when you see this sign, think feminine. When you see this sign here, think masculine, okay? And I'm going to get into what this is over here because this relates to it. But this is your water body, your emotional body. How many men are out there right now, right, that have no one that they can, well, they probably can talk to a lot of people about their emotions, but they won't, right? Because men aren't so much in touch with their emotional body, sadly. And that's a problem because we have so many men living in depressive states and and this goes for women as well. It's not only for men. Obviously, it might be a bigger thing with men nowadays and how society is built. But all of these are problems and issues, and they apply to both men and women. It's not to say that they don't. But think about it. There's a lot of people neglecting their emotional body and the emotions that they're feeling. Air, right? Your mental body. Air represents your mental body. That's why people call you an airhead, right? It's because in between your brain, there's a lot of space, okay? There's a lot of space, and it is literally almost infinite. Practically, you could say your mind is infinite. Your soul is connected to the infinite, but your mind can actually just do a lot of things. And so this is why men use their mental faculties a lot more, because that's where they see they can make a change. And you know what? It makes sense. It is a masculine thing. Now, water and earth, okay. Let me explain this whole positive and negative thing, right? And before I do that, this is fire, the spiritual body or the spirit. Your soul is you. That's something for you. And people try and say, oh, you know, these people sell their souls in the whole Hollywood thing. You can't really sell your soul. It's not selling. You can't. That's between you and God. You can't really you can't do that. But what people can do is attack you spiritually through your spirit body. Let me give you a good example, right? Someone does black magic on you, Orbia, you know, Judge Macumba, as they say where I'm from, Macumba, do some Macumba on you, you're gone, right? If they do that on you, then you get the rest of your body's affected. You might have a mental breakdown. Nothing, you can't keep a single thought in your brain. You then have an emotional breakdown, or someone breaks up with you that causes the emotional breakdown, or something happens in the physical world which then causes a mental breakdown, or maybe you actually break an ankle or break an arm or a leg, something. I've known people that this has happened to because they fuck with the wrong people and they do the wrong things, and so karma decides to get them back in that way, if we want to even call it karma or whatever it is. Regardless, it's something that people need to pay attention to, regardless of what religion you belong to. If someone is to do black magic on you, they first, what they do is they attack your spirit body, and through the spirit body, depending on when they done the magic, how they done the magic, what they used, is then going to go to a specific body, whether it's your mental, emotional, or your physical. Nowadays, most of it will go to the physical. If someone wants to do black magic on you for you to break up with your missus because they, another woman, let's say a witch, wants you, and she sees that you have a wife or someone, they will carry on doing it more and more and more and more until you break up with that person. And then she will try and be the medicine for that emotional body damage for that breakup. And this is exactly how it works, right? Jealousy, envy, these are all lower vibrations, why people want to attack you in the first place. But if you don't recognize the fact that you do have a spirit body, a mental body, an air body, an emotional body, which is a water body, and then a physical one, obviously everyone can agree to that. I fucking hope so. Then then what's the point of trying to protect yourself? You might as well just go out there and just, you know, do whatever you want. Not everyone has the knowledge or the knowledge of self to protect thyself. Okay, but if you're a kind person, if you're an honest, loving, caring person, you won't really need to, and that's the good thing about it. But for me, being aware of these is very important. Now I'm going to get back to this that I said I was going to explain. So here we go. So you could say men are the ones and women are the zeros. Women are womb. Men are just men. Women are not only men. Women are men with a womb. You know what I'm saying? Men, they're just men. So it's like women we come from women as men, right? We come from that zero, okay? We come from that infinite, okay? And women are put on here to represent the portal, to represent the infinite, okay? Because that's where we come from. That's where we pay respect to. And what have men done for the past couple thousand years? Have been patriarchal through their religions, telling them to dress a certain way, do this and do that, say this and don't say that. Because that's patriarchy. because that's a man not being able to live with the fact that a woman is beautiful and is harmonious and is the most beautiful thing that God could have ever created. You know, and us men, we're the strongest thing that God could have ever created. Us men, if we want to, we can gather up an army, move a mountain. You know what I'm saying? And so can women. I'm not saying that's not the case, but it's just the natural tendency of men. And if you look at the natural tendency of men, it's more so the air and the spiritual, the fire body, mainly the fire, the elements that we're talking about now, that really get activated and ignited. So men are like the ones in many ways, like physically we are more attractive if we have more lines on us. That's what the one means. And also non-physically, when men are more direct, when men are more confident, when men are more like hello, you know, that's what women tend to like. Women like a confident man, not an overconfident man, right? Not someone who, oh, he's had so many women in his life, I don't like how confident he is. They like a confident man because he knows where he is in life and he knows his capacity to make life beautiful with that woman. So women like that, right? And that's a masculine trait, being confident, being direct, being purposeful, you know what I'm saying? And women can embody that sometimes better than men can. Most of the time better than men can nowadays, okay? Men are going to have a bit of a struggle trying to embody these two naturally, but they are going to have a struggle embodying the feminine principles, which is water and earth, okay? And women are more attractive if they are round, like the zeros, if they have more curvature to their body. And this isn't always the case. And that is not to say that women are only attractive if they have curves. Or if some women are quite strong, like defined in their muscles and in their body, and they're still very attractive. So it's not like the foundation, like, yes, this is this and that is that. It's just a basic overview. Don't get crazy at me in the comments, because I'll come for you. I won't. Liam Neeson, I'm on my Liam Neeson shit. I'm looking for you and I will find you. No, but it's just a basic foundation for you guys to understand and understand what the ones and zeros in the binary system of our computers are even from. It's from the womb and it's from the man. And out of that comes the women and comes the man. Because you have a woman, right? Plus a man. So 1 + 2 = 3. You have a woman over there, you have a man over there, and they both give birth to another child or more. So 1 + 1 does equal 3, my ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly the whole point of this, is that you get in touch with this reality over here. Now, water is negative and earth is also negative, or as I said, feminine, okay? Now, water, you put water in a pot, you put some herbs in it, and you boil it, you add that heat, that fire to it, right? What does the water do? The water behaves exactly as a negative element or thing in the universe as it would, because the water then takes from it, right? This water and this earth will take things. The earth will take the water. The earth will take the air, the sunshine. The earth will take the heat of the sun and then make things with it. The water will take all the herbs and everything you want to boil with it. Or if you're making clay and you got to add a bit, earth will take that and make something with it, right? And it's more so the air and the fire. Yes, these two can also do that, right? And they can also do these. Water can be like a masculine, like a plus sign, like a positive, and then feed the earth. You know what I'm saying? But that's why they get along very well. The water and the earth signs in astrology, the quadruplicities, and these get along very well. You ever had a fire, or you ever at a campfire, and you blow into it as you're trying to get the fire up, and the fire even grows more because air feeds fire and because water feeds earth. Simple as, okay? And then you have them in opposite ways. Air is always moving. Earth is like never moving. Fire is always hot because it's fire. Water is not always hot because it is water in its natural state. It is depending on where it is, to be honest. Water can be warm. If water has a lot of that fire, that earth, that non-earthy element, it's more likely going to be fiery and heated, like some magma or just like warm liquids in general. But water will normally be the opposite of fire and so on and so forth. So I hope that's like a basic foundation for you guys to really think about things, because a lot of the time I speak to humans and it's like they really and truly think that they only have a physical body. But like I said, it doesn't have to get to the point where someone will do magic on you, or you have to ponder the fact that, yeah, you know what, there's people out there that practice magic. How does that, what does that work? And, you know, some people might be a heliocentric. Some people might believe in heliocentrism. Some people might believe that there's a big bang and that we live in a spinning ball, and so on and so forth. And so everything occult or anything mystic or or magic to them is simply tomfoolery, is bullshit, right? And so someone does black magic on you and you have no fucking idea on how to get rid of that or how to protect yourself. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it might come to you. I'm not saying it might happen to you, but be aware that you have a mental body, okay? And that's the mountain, the air. You get to the top of the mountain and that's the air that you get. That's your airy people. You get to the lava places, you get to the volcano places, you get to the campfires, you get to places where there's a lot of people around, and those are the fire people. You get to the oceans, the rivers, and the lakes, that's your water people. And you get to the forests, and you get to these deep places in the bushes, and that's the earthy people, because the forest is forest. Okay, now, with all of that being said, I'm not telling you guys to go and wear this sign, but think about how these elements are encompassed within your life. You yourself are made of all these elements. Thousands of years they've been telling you, the Chinese people, yes, we have these elements. Obviously they call it wood, they call it some other stuff, but it is the same exact thing. The point is you have elements and you are connected to these elements for a reason. So when people are practicing magic, they're using the foundation of what this reality is built upon to manipulate everything else in their will, in their accordance. And you have to accept that sometimes people believe to a certain extent, and I'm using that word believe because you can only believe in something you don't know. Some people will believe that actually God put me here to practice this ritual at the moment so that I can speed things up in this way or do this or do that. And you know what? As crazy as it sounds, that's what's meant to happen, because whatever happens, whatever has happened was meant to. As dark and as fucked up as it was, we'd be at the highs of highs in life. And yeah, you know, whatever happened is meant to happen. Yeah. And we're at the lows of lows in life. And it's like, whatever's meant to happen was meant to happen. You're like, fuck. Remember that as much as there is up, there is down. So with all of this, men right now don't have that emotional connection. They haven't for a long time. It's part of the patriarchal obsession with blocking out emotions. It's because they're blocking out that feminine as well. They're blocking out that feminine. They don't want women to move about. They don't want women to have a job. They don't want women to be responsible of things. They want them to be still and stuck, just like soil, just like the earth. They're diminishing women. They've been diminishing women. And they've also been only diminishing men to think, to only use their brains. But actually, us men have a heart as well. Us men have a spirit body as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So please pay attention to these elements and how they are all around you. Your body in and of itself is made up of these elements. No matter what it is in my room, in your room, where you're watching this, right? You have all of these elements with you and around you and in you, right? And you always will have. So yeah, this is something that I really hope people start to pay attention to, because a lot of the time I am slightly concerned about how many people truly go through life oblivious of the fact that there is a foundation, there's some form of a foundation when it comes to these elements. And this is why tarot is based upon it, and so many alchemical scriptures speak about all of these elements again and again and again. It's because when you're refining something, when you add fire to something, you make it smaller and smaller, you make it more specific. If you want to get into these substances that create our reality, you would study alchemy, and you will begin your alchemical journey. Whether you like it or not, we're all on the alchemical journey. But what I mean is, when you start to study it, you really begin your alchemical journey, and you see how all of these are actually you. And then there's something I haven't spoken about here, or two things I haven't spoken about here, is arm, leg, arm, head, and also same other way around, that's Allah, which is not the Islamic Allah, because this is not an Arabic word, Allah. This ALLAH is not a Arabic word. It's an English one, and that's exactly what it represents. This sign right here, and you have Moors and so many people that are into their whole thing that will tell you about this, and it's true. But that head over there, that H, now that is Akas, Chi or ether, Vril. People in Qigong do like the tapping of the your kidneys, because that's where all the chi is in your body, where it originates from in Chinese medicine and in Qigong and a lot of things like Tai Chi as well. They work with that. Now that's Akas, okay? Akasa in the Sanskrit system, Chi or ether, Vril, Prana, whatever you want to call it. That's what connects all of these together. That's the spirit molecule, essentially. The it's a very weird and very mystical element. And apparently on the North Pole is where we can actually see this element. And once we see it, it means that all of these are converging into one. And you know, it's a whole different story I don't want to get into. But yeah, we don't see that element like we do with these ones. We can, however, feel it. And the fact that these exist is because that one there exists. That is the more spiritual out of these. These will come down and be present with us everywhere. But this one, even though it's present everywhere, we can't really see it. We can't really sense it until we start tapping and start evolving. Well, evolution is a whole different one, but until we start evolving as a human, right? Working with our energy channels, then we can feel, actually, I didn't need a coffee because I performed all of these kriyas. Wow, I don't even need coffee. Why? Because you had chi pumped into you, because you had ether, or it's the AETHER, not that one. And or akasa, same thing. Some people start working and purifying their nadis in yoga, or start doing qigong and they feel electric. That's what it is. That's what it is right there. It's not any of these, but that's what it is. And this, it can be found in the fire, in the air, in the water, and in the earth. So all of that to say, and to conclude into this, you are made up of more than just a physical body. If it were not the case, you would have not been born into a body, period. Okay? You come from a non-physical reality, and you have been conditioned through stages of consciousness known as planes, right? And you come down into earth, and you're incarnate in a body of flesh. Okay? You don't choose where you're from. You don't choose what body you're going to get. I didn't choose my genes. I didn't choose what genetics I get. I didn't choose what type of face, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here. And the point is once you're here, you have already accepted that earth, that physical. What a lot of people find hard to accept is the spiritual, right? Because we don't really interact with it in our day-to-day lives, we are kept under the cloak, right? Like a frog in a child's room, you know what I'm saying? He don't want the mum to see the frog, so he covers that frog, but that frog is going to make noise. There's only a certain amount of things you can brush up under the carpet until that carpet is like a little hill, okay? You got clear stuff under it. And a lot of people's trauma comes from it not accepting the fact that we have all these other bodies. We have a mental body. This is why people go psychotherapy and people have therapists, because they realize, actually, there's a lot on my mental body. See, this is very obvious nowadays, okay? It's the dominant masculine element, okay? And this is the dominant feminine element, okay? And these two, yeah, very obvious. You know, people go to their personal trainers, and people to work out the physical body. And these two here are they go hand in hand, but they're not quite the same thing. They're not quite the same thing, okay? You can get a therapist to help you with your mind, but not really your emotions. And they can actually help you with your emotions, though. It's just sadly not what it's focused on today. And then with the fire, the spiritual body, who wants to go to a shaman? Who wants to go to a self-accredited shaman nowadays? You go Southeast Asia anywhere, and you know, I don't even have to speak. If you know, you know, okay? There's a lot of people out there posing as Kundalini activators and Kundalini this and ascension this and ascension that and wake up this and third eye this. To hell with all of that, yeah. And I ain't even a Christian to say that, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of fugazi in an area like this, because why? It's not instituted or recognized from a Western scientific point of view. So people will go out and say anything to get money, say anything in the name of spirituality to get money. But like I said, you play with fire, you get burned. So if there's anything you take away from this video, guys, is that there is more than just a physical body. You have an emotional, an air, and a spiritual. At least yoga talks about us having more bodies than just a physical one. And it's like the Russian dolls, the shells that get deeper and deeper within you. And actually, I've experienced being inside of my body during meditation and witnessing like a vessel, like a tall vessel that opened up towards like my brain, but it was like a light blue kind of body inside of me. And that's when I started to tap into this. I was like, oh, okay, what was that? You know, I was like, whoa. And so you learn that in yoga and in other systems as well, not only in yoga. I'm not just bigging up the yogis, but obviously I do practice a lot of yoga, so I'm gonna big up to a certain extent. It's a lot of knowledge that humans have picked up from India and from that whole area, what we modernly call India, the Himalayas. There's a lot of knowledge from there, and I'm very, very thankful for it. And they literally talk about this as well. Maybe not in the same way the Westerners do with Plato and the elements and Hermes with all the elements, but nevertheless, guys, if you've taken something away from this, is that yes, you do have more than just a physical body. And I suggest you guys work out in the physical, work out in the water, work out in the air body, and work out in the fire body, because times are coming where you are going to be tested. And this is the age of Aquarius, right? So we're no longer in that Pisces, I believe. We're in the Aquarius. I was going to say Aries. Oh no. We're in the Aquarius. I know. So if you can only believe in something you don't know, what do you know?